Hi everyone, welcome back to Paisa Bolta. Yes, Anand is still not here. I think this video would be a Sunday video, so happy Sunday. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and you recovered well from the revelries of the Saturday night. And I hope you did catch my video yesterday. I know if Anand is not there, the view count drops and my team rather feels very sad about it. But tell them to cheer up that Anand will be back and the video counts will go back up. So I'm not here claiming to be an investment guru like Anand or a knowledge guru bank like Anand. I'm a layman like you, so my opinions are purely like you. I just try and offer some food for thought from where I'm thinking and spark some interest in what I'm saying. Might get you reading, might get you investing, might move the conversation forward. Recently, there was an article which came out that the SIP flow into the market last month has again broken some records, and India seems to be going from strength to strength in terms of SIPing, and mutual funds. Our accounts are opening by truckloads, as they say. So it's time to be cautious. At the same time, just to be optimistic. It's always better to have a mix of both. You know, a bit of salt and sugar is always good to have, not to have an extreme sweet or an extreme salt. So I would take this information with a cautionary note. It is something to be optimistic about. It's something that shows that the Indian economy is growing and its expansion is happening. And it's great news. At the same time, it's time to be cautious because we don't want to be hubris and get into a bubble zone as an investor and get hammered when the corrections do happen. Speaking of corrections, the Americans are finding it harder and harder to SIP nowadays. In a Bloomberg article that came out, because the relentless uptrend of the S&P 500 momentum has left many value investors looking rather sad because they usually are called dip buyers. When the market dips, that's the time they decide to pick up a few stocks or invest in the S&P. And the stocks for the last, in the past 14 out of the 15 weeks, it's been going on the upward trend in the US, which is the best run since 1972. Though there should be some pullback because of the small caps and the stocks are a little shaky there in finances, market seems to be largely ignoring it in the US. And this is leaving a lot of value investors feeling a bit left out because it's between being in a rock and a hard place when you're a value investor. Yes, you know the market is in due for a correction. Yes, we do not know when the correction will come. We are not astrologers. We cannot predict when it's going to happen. But at the same time, we do feel human emotions like all investors feel, and we have this fear of missing out. What if we are wrong? And this is a trend which will last for another not few months or a few years. It might last for the next 5-6 years. And if it is a trend for 5-6 years, that's at least in terms of a value investor, that's a window of opportunity we should not miss. So this kind of questions are boiling in the minds of many value investors across the globe, including in India and abroad. So those of you who are in my tribe, in our brethren, would be feeling this kind of momentary lapse of reason in the market. But that said, a lot of IPOs are coming up in India. It's not like a drought which is there in the US, where only recently the Reddit IPO was spoken about. Before that, they had a long period of no IPOs happening there. India's been going through a whole series of IPOs. Everyone and anyone seems to be putting up an IPO. I recently read R.K. Swami is putting up an IPO, which is a very conservative ad agency based out of Chennai, and they're launching an IPO. So those are interesting times. It seems to be everyone wants to cash in the market when it's riding in such a high. The one which I wanted to talk about today was Jana Small Finance Bank, or JFSB. Okay, it's the 4th largest small finance bank in terms of assets under management and deposit sides. And this current bank has a diversifying loan book marked with strong growth and wide geographical presence. They have 177 bank outlets across 22 states and 2 union territories. They have over 12 million customers, and since its inception in 2008, they have almost 5 million active customers by the end of September 23. The bank operates a variety of loan products, both including in secured and unsecured options, catering primarily to financial needs of underbanked and underserved customers. So this is what Jana Bank is doing, and it's targeting a price band of 393 to 414 rupees, and it's supposed to be taking place very soon, and both in NSE and BSE. The bank post-issue equity results and price earnings is ratios around PE is around 9.9 to 10.5 based on the trailing 12 month, and ended on September 23. So as it stands right now, the market, what I'm looking at the news, it's already been subscribed 18 times on the last day. So those of you who did subscribe to it, I hope you get the allotment. Those of you who didn't subscribe to it, like me, it's okay. I strongly don't believe in IPOs. So I just wanted to touch on this IPO and talk about it since it's happened, and I won't be of any influence on this decision making of yours, because I definitely don't want to be influencing any kind of decision on IPO, because I strongly don't recommend them. So I actually want to discuss this IPO and tell you some of the reasons why I didn't subscribe to this IPO right now. Because the bank does have pan-India presence and has significant digitization operations. Digitization operation means it has a big online presence, and this is a strong bank, a strong brand, and it's focused on financial inclusion, which is a great thing. Many banks in India are not operating on this principle of inclusion, but they do have certain weaknesses, which something gives me food for thought, which is a high portion of their unsecured microfinance is deemed very risky. So that's a question. That's a trade-off. When you service customers who are in the marginalized community, usually it's also the flip side of it is, because of that clarity on their financial strength and their financial legs, you do not know how risky the loans are. So a lot of the microfinance loans are in that category. Then another problem with them is they have a high dependency of bulk deposits. 32% of their deposits are coming from this one source, this bulk deposit source. Bulk meaning they put huge deposits in the bank. Instead of, I'd rather have a bank which has many small depositors than big bulk depositors, because big bulk depositors, when there's any reason they want to pull the funds out, it suddenly weakens the bank. It's like flight risk, because you don't want big chunks, you want smaller pieces. So if it's smaller pieces are moving in and out, it's much easier to work with. So these are my layman kind of understanding of this. Other than that, the bank seems to be well financed and well capitalized and everything else, and it has a very healthy net interest margin and positive strong provision coverage ratio. So, and the operation efficiency and the financial health of the bank is very good. So I would put this in the wait and watch category. So this is what my opinion of the bank is. So, and when you're looking at a long-term investing, after what's been happening in the market with lots of our IPOs, I would rather wait for this bank's price to launch and let it trade for a while, and let 1 year go by and let's see the results of the bank. Because if you are keen on investing in the banking sector, there are many banks right now which have a long open track record, where as an investor you can see the track record and dive into it and analyze it. I don't want to mention bank names, but Anand has spoken about many of these banks, and you can definitely look at those banks as an option if you are interested in picking up something in the banking sector. I would not do IPOs for the simple reason because of the lack of clarity in where what stands, which is not advisable. So thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and were entertained. Don't worry, Anand will be back here on Monday to give you guys a video in Hindi, and I'll try and join him at the time. Thank you.
नमस्कार, फिर पैसा बोलता है में आपका स्वागत है। इस फरवरी के अंतिम हफ्ते मैं दुबई में हूँगा। जो मुझे दुबई में मिलना चाहे, 24 और 25 फरवरी में मैं दुबई में इवेंट करने वाला हूँ। जो भी दुबई, अबू धाबी, शारजा और अन्य एमिरेट्स में हैं और मुझे मिलना चाहते हैं, वो मुझे मिल सकते हैं। नीचे एक व्हाट्सएप नंबर है, ईमेल है और एक गूगल फॉर्म है, उसको इस्तेमाल कीजिए और फिल इन कीजिए। मेरे टीम आपसे संपर्क करेगा। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार, जय हिंद।